Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today we're going to take a look at Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer. So let's head to that table and check it out. Quick look at the packaging. This of course comes to us in the Last Jedi line. You got the TIE Silencer pretty much front and center on the entire package with some Star Destroyers and TIE Fighters in the background. It's looking pretty cool. You see they included Kylo Ren, kind of TIE pilot as they're calling him. Seems odd, but alright. Anyways, you see him through the window packaging there. As for the sides of the packaging, on one side you get a nice image of Kylo Ren. And then on the other side you get your Force Link advertisement showing that the vehicle is, of course, Force Link compatible. Flipping on over to the back side, you got a brief description about Kylo Ren and his amazing pilot skills that he inherited from his father. Of course, you see the ship and the included figure. Big image here of the Force Link compatibility, and then you get your other figures and vehicles that are also available in the line. Alright, so out of the packaging we do have some assembling to do. You got these little tips that go on the wings, and you know, they do go in a particular spot, but they're molded, so you're not going to make a mistake. First you got the main body, the missiles, the back of the ship, which is also your Force Link stuff, so your lights are on this unit here. No batteries needed for this. And then you got the wings, which don't matter where they go. I mean, obviously they face in a certain direction, but they're molded the same, so it doesn't matter which side they go on. As for the wings, like I mentioned, these tips just slide right on in. Do that for both wings. As for this back piece here with the lights, you do want the lighted part to go on top, and then that snaps right in. And then for putting the wings on, you do have the 3 holes here on the side of the body, and those just snap right in. So we've got it all assembled, and I gotta say, it's a pretty cool looking ship. Obviously, I mean, how about this? It's a cool looking toy too. Yes, it's a little small. Obviously, let me try and fit these in here. In terms of scale and size, it is pretty much dwarfed by the TIE Interceptor. This is the Power of the Jedi version, I believe. So as you can see, it does sit a lot lower. One area that I'm more disappointed in is the size of the body itself. I do wish that this was a little bigger, a little more wider. It just feels that it should be. But obviously we know Hasbro's gone down to smaller scales of vehicles, so it is what it is. As for the rest of the ship and the design, the main body of the vehicle is hard plastic, while these wings are much softer vinyl. Very much like the TIE Silencer, but all of these little panels in here, little knobby textures on it, is pretty nice. Very much, again, like the TIE Silencer in that respect. But through the wings, you got some pretty nice designs through here. Of course, you push a button on the top of the main body, and that pops out the guns. Who knows if this is something we'll actually see in the movie, or if this is like the Jedi Starfighter where the wings kind of broke off and had some weapons hiding in there. You know, that was a toy design that was never seen in the movie or intended to be that way. The coloring of the vehicle is mostly consistent throughout. I'd say these tips are just a little bit darker than the rest of the wings here. On the top side, you got a little bit of silver for whatever these ports are, and you got more silver along the top side with whatever these are through the top of the window and stuff. For the back side, you got lights that'll glow on top. We'll get to that in a bit, and some lights inside here. As for the bottom, of course, you got your Force Link symbol, whatever these silver things are again. And then on the front side, little silver throughout the middle here in that center section. And while it does look black, these are plastic. You can kind of see through them, probably not on camera. It's just tinted very dark. As far as inside, this top opens up so you can slide your figure in. First off, here you get a better look that you can indeed see through that front end a little bit. Inside the cockpit, I mean, it's just molded detailing. Probably not showing off too well in the camera, but I mean, it's not overly special, but it's decent in there. And as far as putting Kylo Ren in, kind of no problem. He goes right in. But here again is where the scale of the vehicle doesn't really help with the figure. I mean, his head's pretty close to the top there. Obviously it does close, but you know, his eyes are right around here, so he's relatively tall for the cockpit. But, you know, you can't really see it anyways. Actually, you can kind of see his foot sticking up in the window here. And I briefly touched on those missiles on the side there. Pushing that center button extends them out. And then pushing that same center button again shoots out the missiles. So for the most part, as far as the ship goes, it's pretty cool looking. I will say that while everything was straight in the box, that even just adding the tips of these wings on, especially on the bottom ones, has caused it to kind of sag down a little bit. It's a bit too heavy for the wing, it seems. So time will tell as far as how well this wing's going to hold up, or if it's going to start to sag down even more and more. Now, as far as the Force Link sounds go, first we're going to do the sounds. I don't know if the lights are going to be able to show as well on the back of the vehicle, so I'll do sounds first and then I'll dim my lights. Obviously, grabbing the back of the vehicle activates the sound as it does the lights, if you can kind of see it glowing in there a little bit. Advancing the ship forward. And as far as those lights go, I'll get my big hands out of the way, and I obviously got some more lights off now. But putting it in that area does activate the top light and through the back here on these two parts. And seems to be maybe magnetically done, because you can still keep sounds going, and as you get closer, those lights get brighter or dim. So as far as the Force Link capabilities go with this vehicle, as with the other vehicles in this line, I'm still liking it. I think it's a great use of the technology. As far as the included Kylo Ren figure, this is of course the one without his helmet on. We've now received 3 versions of Kylo Ren in the Last Jedi line. This is the one with the Force Link starter set that has its helmet. We're just going to take him out of the equation then. Leaving us then with this one being on the carded release, and this is the one that came with the vehicle. Obviously the carded release does have his cape included, but otherwise there are minor differences between these two figures. While the head sculpt between these two figures do look very much the same, you've got a paint difference, a little more peachy in his face on the TIE Silencer release, and a little more pale on the carded release. But that red slash through his face is painted much better on the carded figure than it is with the included figure for the TIE Silencer. On the TIE Silencer release, you just got the scrape in there, but it's not painted in. Otherwise, the big difference, I think, in the head area is the sculpting of the hair. The hair sculpting is done a little differently on the carded release, probably to allow this cloak to sit over the shoulder better and fit underneath. Whereas the hairline on this guy, it sits right down on his collar. As far as the body, the only thing I'm seeing is the paint buckled painting is more, dark gray maybe on the TIE Silencer release and more silver on the carded release over here. And maybe it is only the painting, but it sure seems to me that the buckle area on the TIE Silencer release is just a smidge smaller than the carded version, but maybe that's just the painting playing tricks on me. And then looking at the hands of the two figures, while the right hand, or screen left as you're looking at it, looks the same, I'd say that the TIE Silencer release for his screen right hand is just a little more closed. Try and show that there. The hand is a little more closed than it is on the carded release over here. So that's the difference between these two figures. As far as the figure itself, though, I feel like I kind of covered most of it. You know, my disappointment would be that the on that head area, that scrape is not kind of molded in, more that scar, I should say. Relatively decent painting on the face otherwise, not so great along the hairline. Pretty sloppy painting as far as where that brown paint should be going to cover his hair. But as far as the rest of the figure, you know, like I already covered at the belt area, that silver paint buckling looks pretty good, or dark gray rather. The uniform itself, obviously, it does look like he's gotten a little bit of an upgrade in this new movie. More of a textured pattern through that main body, but the sleeves still have that ribbing look. And through the leg area, the molding's pretty good. You know, it looks like you would expect pants to look, and boots looking pretty good too, with little straps up top, and some buckle detailing down around the ankle area. Taking a look at his accessory, and that is just, of course, his lightsaber. You know, it's as you expect. The blade really has that crackled look to it. Otherwise, it's just the gray hilt with no other special painting to it. Looks very much like it does on the single carded release, but maybe the paint job on that carded release is a little bit more glossy, but, you know, that could just be a variation in the factory or something. But otherwise, the sculpting and the looks of the two do look very much the same. As for the sounds that this figure makes using the Force Link,
the darkness guides me. Get my ship ready. Follow my lead. Get my ship ready. Follow my lead.
And then, of course, advancing them forward gets you another set of sounds.
It's just us now. I can show you the ways of the Force.
So we got some lines that are the same as the single carded release, and we got some lines on this one that are different than the single carded release. Overall, quality of the sound is good. Obviously, though, this is not straight dialogue of him in the movie. This is a voice actor doing the sounds. And it does seem that we get a mix of dialogue from The Force Awakens and from The Last Jedi. So overall, this is a pretty cool looking vehicle. It's a nice set. $50, maybe a little bit of a tall order. You know, for me, being a longtime collector, obviously, I'm old now and I played with the original toys. I really miss the large scale of the vehicles, or the bigger scale anyway. So for me, I'll say it is a little bit disappointing to see this in a smaller scale. I feel like it should be bigger. I do wish that the lights on the vehicle were also brighter as well. There's only a couple bulbs in there, it seems, so I would have liked a little more punch of light at least. But scale aside, this is still a pretty cool toy. Obviously, you're buying it for the ship and not so much for the Kylo Ren figure, especially since we already have a similar looking figure on the card already. I like that the missiles are once again plastic. I like that they pop out and shoot out. That's fun. And the figure itself is pretty neat, and I will will say it's a nice pack-in to help add a little bit more value to the price of this toy. And so that wraps up this look at the TIE Silencer. I'd love to know your thoughts on this vehicle and figure in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.